When I got my first head coaching basketball position, I called my father, who was a former high school coach, and said, "Hey, Dad, what offense should I run?" And he said, "Honey, it doesn't matter." I mean, what do you mean it doesn't matter? Of course it matters. This is my life, my dream, my career. Of course it matters. He said, "Honey, what matters is if you can get your team to run the offense together." My father's wisdom worked well for me. Did the 23 years that I coached college basketball. And we won a national championship and 3 Elite Eights. And what was the difference in those years that we won the big ones, besides talent and great coaching, was that we played well together. Playing together seems like such a simple concept, and it is, but it's rarely that easy. Because people all want the same things, right? To win the sale, the goal, the championship. Wrong. Why playing together isn't easy is because people, teams of any sort, it doesn't matter if it's athletic, nonprofit or corporate, is that you're always dealing with people, and people come with a lot of emotional baggage. Baggage like this. Back in 1993, we were about to play in the regional championship game. One of my players, Tanisha, came in with a truckload of emotional baggage. While the rest of the team is warming up, getting ready for the game, Tanisha is lying down on the bench, hand on her forehead, tears streaming down her face. Now, Tanisha often suffered from mysterious illnesses and injuries. I looked over my assistant coaches and said, "Hey, which one of you two is going to go ask Tanisha what's wrong with her today?" They both looked at me, shook their head, and said, "Nope, not it." Relegated for the task, I walk over to Tanisha and say, "Hey, Tanisha, are you okay?" She says, "No, I have a brain aneurysm today." Okay. Is there any way that I can help you? "No, I just need to cry, and the tears will release the brain aneurysm." All righty then. Well, just let me know when you're ready to go. Tanisha cried for 5 minutes, got up, played the game, scored 12 points, and helped us win a regional championship. Not all situations are resolved as easily. One of my clients from a Fortune 500 company told me the story about how 2 of their SVPs got in a fisticuffs in the parking lot after a disagreement in a meeting. Folks, they didn't get up and shake hands. Imagine how that played out when they tried to work with each other later on in their departments. Look, we used to tell people, hey, just leave your personal life at the door. Just drop behind the divorce, the spouse who cheated on you, your looming bankruptcy, your gambling, drinking, drug problem. Just shed those before you walk through the door. Well, we can't do that because we define ourselves through our life experiences. We can't separate ourselves from what happens to us. In fact, we don't see life as it is, we see life as we are. Let me say that again. We don't see life as it is, we see life as we are. We are. Excellent. You guys are already great TEDx speakers. Thank you. So, before this talk is over, I'm going to promise you one thing. I'm going to share with you one thing that will help you get rid of like 75% of your emotional baggage before it even begins. Now look, the challenge with leadership goes way beyond services and products because it's the people who create the products and services. Just think about it for just a second. What ruins any great organization? It's a leader who is angry, jealous, selfish, and who doesn't understand how their words or actions affects other people. Take John Gruden, for example, who is a former head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, who was asked to resign due to comments that he made that were racist, homophobic, and misogynistic, right? So yes, leaders have to be able to create strategies, visions, and missions. They need to be able to delegate, motivate, and communicate. They need to be able to have processes and service and products. But the one thing that many leaders fail to focus on is relationships. And folks, business is made up of relationships. In fact, relationships are the business. And the most important relationship that we need to work on is the one with who? Ourselves. Exactly, ourselves. The reason that we struggle with relationships, especially the one with ourselves, is because we tend to stuff, deflect, or avoid the emotions that we should be dealing with, and then we let those emotions spill out on other people. Finish this quote for me. Hurt people hurt. Hurt people hurt, exactly. So let me just change that a little bit. When we don't resolve the hurt within us, we hurt other people. Now, all of us carry some emotional baggage. It's just that some of us have little overnight bags, while other people are hauling around U-Hauls with double trailers. So raise your hand if you know of somebody who carries around a U-Haul of negative emotions with them. Right, look around the room, folks. Everybody has their hand raised. Now, looking backwards, I can see where Tanisha, probably her injuries and illnesses were associated with some unhealed emotional wound that she had. So the best leaders are those who are able to look at their emotional baggage, toss the stuff that doesn't need to be there, and add qualities that do. Now, this requires a great amount of self-awareness. Folks, I've interviewed over 200 leaders in the last 2.5 years for an upcoming book on leadership. When I asked them the question, what is the biggest challenge that you had to face in your career, over 75% of them said, myself. You see, leadership is all about emotional intelligence, which is the ability to master self-awareness. Only 15% of the population is self-aware. That means 85% of the people don't know what they don't know about themselves. Look at the person on your left and the person on your right. Chances are they don't know nothing about themselves. Right? So what I've discovered during the course of time of coaching leaders, after we get past the how-to of leadership, we address the gap between knowledge and action. And often that gap is an unhealed emotional wound. Here's some examples of people that I worked with. A CEO who was in an abusive relationship, physically and emotionally, for 10 years and only had the courage to get out once her husband was attacking their 5-year-old daughter. How about the CFO whose father was killed in an accident at age 15, his mother went into deep, dark depression, forcing him at the age of 15 to become the physical and financial provider for his 5 younger siblings. Or the COO whose mother was an alcoholic and blamed her for everything, including the light bulb that didn't work, the flat tire on the cars, the color of her dress, everything. So emotional wounds, even small ones, impact the way that we view our lives and definitely influence the way that we deal with others. I'm going to share with you a small emotional wound of mine that almost cost me the ability to play in the 1984 Olympic Games. And the reason I share stories with you is because stories stick. Now, I can remember the first time I dreamed of being an Olympian. I'm in the back room playing. I can hear all this noise going on in the living room. I sprint to the living room to see what's going on, and there are my parents sitting on green vinyl couches and my grandparents sitting in our easy chair. The black and white television was tuned to the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico. My parents and grandparents were screaming, USA, USA, USA. Look at my parents. Look at my grandparents. I'm like, I'm going to do that. It's great to be young and naive, isn't it, when you actually believe the words that you say to yourself. And then you grow up and you allow other people's words to become your truth. Now, folks, I was so lucky because at the age of 7, I said, I am an Olympian so many times I actually believed my own words. Like most of my teammates, I grew up dreaming about playing in world-class venues, marching into the opening ceremonies, and being coached by the Three Stooges. Okay, I didn't dream that part. It just came true. One of my coaches was Clement, and he was from Czechoslovakia. He spoke understandable English. My other coach was Ilya, and he spoke about 25 words of good English. He was from Russia. He'd say, right, wrong, yes, no, vodka, caviar, shadi, and stupid. He usually said those two words together. How many times has your name been attached to a negative descriptor, and how did that make you feel? You see, words are really amazing, aren't they? They can either build you up or destroy you, especially when you believe them. So here I am in 1984 in Osaka, Japan, preparing for the upcoming 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles. We're playing a sport called team handball, which is like soccer using the hands or water polo on land. I'm starting alongside the stars of the team, Sam and Cindy. Sam can jump so high she seemingly hangs in the air for minutes. And Cindy has the arm of Hercules. And me, I'm the brain behind these two. It's about 5 minutes into the game, and I take my first shot on goal. I wind up and fire the ball at the goal. My ball misses, hits the goalpost, and ricochets out of bounds. Now, folks, that's not a big deal. It's kind of like missing a shot in basketball. You're not going to make every shot that you shoot. I turned around on the court to play defense, and my coach calls me over. Shadi, Shadi, Shadi. I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah, coach. Shadi, you know what? Stupid. And now go play. I found his words to be extremely helpful. I'm stupid. I run back into the game. Sam passes me the ball. I go to pass the ball to Cindy, and it floats out of bounds. I'm like, oh. As I go back to play defense, my coach says to me, Cindy, why you pass the ball to air? Because I'm stupid, coach. I go down to play defense, and I could see out of the corner of my eye my coach, Ilya, ranting and raving, probably about my stupid past. And somewhere it occurs to me in the corner of my brain, I'm not stupid, I'm smart. I'm a 4.0 student. I'm an academic All-American. I'm the valedictorian at the University of Charleston. I'm not stupid, I'm smart. As I turn to run to play defense, I'm like this, I'm stupid, I'm smart. How many times have you had a conversation like that in your head, and which voice wins? The stupid one, right? My coach calls me over, Shedi. I'm like, nope, nope. Shedi! Oh, yeah, coach. He leans over so close that our noses touch. I can smell the stillness of morning coffee on his breath, and I lean back. Shedi, why you stupid? A slice of saliva slings out of his mouth onto my cheek. Yet some more helpful coaching advice and a special souvenir. I run back in the game. Stupid, smart. I get into the game. Cindy passes me the ball, and I miss. Oh! I'm stupid. As I run down, my coach yells at me one more time, but this time I should let his words slide past me because I should know better, don't I? But the thing is, I don't. You see, 15 years ago in third grade, they were going to hold me back a grade because I wasn't a good reader. They were going to put me in that stupid class. Oh, they didn't call it stupid. They called it remedial, but I knew what they meant. I couldn't let that happen. Folks, my dad was superintendent of schools. My mother was a teacher and a coach. So I went to the library. I stacked up on books. I drove my parents crazy reading to me every night. And I never made another B again. I was a straight A student. But the story I told myself is, I'm not smart, I'm stupid. I just study harder than anybody else in the world. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So when my coach called me stupid, I did exactly what a stupid person would do. I looked at him and I said, I'm not stupid, you are, because you're the one who's still playing me. I am suspended for that game and the next one. This seems like it's brutally unfair. This is not my fault. He's the one that called me stupid. After the game is over, my teammate and mentor from Opelika, Alabama, Rita, comes up to me and says to me, Sherry, how come you let Ely upset you so much? Did you hear what he called me, Rita? He called me stupid. And you believed him? No. Sherry, you remember that time that Ely told us we could get pregnant by sitting on cement? Did you believe him then? Of course I did not. But here's what happened when he said the word stupid. I went back to that third grader and that wound that originated there, and I lived in that wound. If you don't address your wounds, they stay with you. But I'm so lucky because I address mine, and that stupid voice can come up, but I'm able to quieten it, and it no longer comes out in anger when directed to others. So now I'm going to share with you that little promise I made to you earlier about the secret that I share with my coaching clients. So here's what I want you to do. Everybody say, Q-tip. Q-tip. Now repeat after me. Quit. Taking. It personally. Quit taking it personally. It's not about you. When somebody else is speaking to you, it's never about you. It's about their story. Nobody can speak to you from anywhere but their own life experiences. It's not about you. It's never been about you. So raise your hand if you've ever allowed what somebody else has said to you or done to you ruin an hour of your day. How about a half a day? How about a full day? Stop it. Quit letting other people steal your joy, your peace, your serenity. Stop it. Here's the thing that happens. When somebody else says something to us, and we let their story become our story, we become hurt people. And once we're hurt, we hurt others. So I'm going to share with you a secret that I use when other people are mean, snarky, nasty, destructive, demeaning to me. I have a phrase that I use. It's like this. It's not about me, it's about you. It's not about me, it's about you. It's not about me, it's about you. Look at the person next to you and say, it's not about me, it's about you. Now never, ever say that out loud again. Shh. That is a silent mantra. Silent mantra. Now that you know this can change your life and your leadership forever. Because before you even get hurt, you can stop the hurt. And you're not going to pass that hurt on to somebody else. Remember this, that businesses are about relationships. In fact, relationships are the business. And the most important relationship that you can have is the one with yourself. Thank you.